You know, this is perhaps one of the most important posts that I've ever put in my blog in the last, say, year and a half. I think I posted something like 50, 60 posts in the last year and a half. And I believe this is really is one of the most important because it talks about a very, very important topic, which is tough love. More in general, I'm talking about love in a business environment. Now, that really is something hard to digest for many people because they don't understand what love has to do with business. Because we interpret love in the wrong way. We interpret love as that, feeling of wellness that you have and that you want to transfer to other people. That's not what I'm talking about here. That's not the type of love that I'm talking about here. That is what I call reactive love, which is something that you can't help, that you can't control. You can only love that way if something happens. If a person does something that you like and you react back. If something happens and you react back and you say, oh, I love this situation. But you have no control. It's just something that is giving you pleasure at that moment, but you actually have no control on love. What I'm talking about here is love that you can control. I call it proactive love. It's something that you can do at any time. With the snap of a finger, you can decide to love somebody. Now, if you think that's not important for a business, I tell you one thing, and I mean it. If you don't have love in your business, you don't have a business. Period. You see, people react to love. And most importantly here, what I call proactive love is not a feeling. It's a connection. It's a bond. It's something that links you to another person, that enables you to understand the needs of that person, that you understand the aspirations of that person, where she's heading, what her fears are, what her blockages are. That is what connection is all about, and that is what I mean by love. Without that, you can't have a business, because as long as you can say, I'm here to fulfill people's needs, but if you don't have connection, you don't know what those needs are, and you may give something totally different, and your business cannot last very long without it. Sure, you can, snatch a client from somebody else because you practice lower prices than somebody else. But you see, it's just all on the economic base. Then somebody else comes up and makes an even lower price than you have, and you're going to lose that customer. That, and many others, if that is the way you set up your business. So I repeat that. Without love, you don't have a business. And I'm very serious about that. So one thing I want you to understand is that our reality is defined always by two opposites. We have day and night, we have light and darkness, we have love and hate, we have good and bad, right? We have positive and negative, we have plenty of things. If you consider what your life is all about, you will see there are always these two components at work simultaneously. Now, why is that important? Because this oppositeness is what creates movement. Without movement, there is no reality. This reality exists because there is movement, because there is time, because there is space. And these two opposites, which complement each other, integrate each other, is what enables you to navigate and work and prosper in this reality. That's why when I talk about love, I also talk about a very important aspect of love, which is, tough love. We all know, or we think we know all about soft love. We go to people, we hug them, and we say how much I love them, and how much we care about them, and that's good. And I'm not saying it's wrong. But as I said before, for one thing, it's reactive, so you have no control over that. If you don't love somebody, you don't love it. You can't force yourself into loving somebody, or even hating somebody for that matter. Here you must have control, so you have to be able to create that connection. And when you create that connection, you understand what the other person needs, which is not always soft love. sometimes that person needs tough love. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't confuse tough love with toughness. Don't confuse soft love with softness. Okay. We must understand that they're complementary to each other. You need to be able to handle and manage both together. And you can only do that if you're connected with that person, because you must know when that person needs soft love, and you must understand when it needs tough love. And when I talk about person, I'm talking even about your children, your spouse, your friends. I'm not just talking about business here. I mean, I'm talking systemically here. I'm not speaking sectorially. I'm not talking just about business or just about family or just about it. These are laws of our reality, which means they apply to every single environment of our life. And it works the same everywhere. Now, you only use softness, people are going to step on you. They will have no respect of you if you only use that all the time consistently. And if you only use toughness, okay, they will be afraid of you. They will want to run away from you. Why? Because in both these situations, there is no growth, which is the focus of true love, of proactive love, of a connection. Okay, when you use the love, reactive love, you only look for a relationship, an emotional bond with a person, which is okay. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But that is not enough. On the other hand, you want to create a mental, and I would say even spiritual bond with that person, which means understanding her or his true needs. That's what I'm talking about. And if you can't understand when to apply soft love and when to apply tough love, you're going to have problems. As a matter of fact, I think that many of the problems that many entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, or whatever have with their business is that they can't differentiate between these two things. And they can't differentiate between reactive love and proactive love in the first place. So that's where all the problem is. But if you can, your leadership is going to boost dramatically. Your authoritativeness is going to boost. I mean, I'm sure you remember some teacher in your past who was a real tough son of a gun, right? And he was tough with you, and he would, put all the pressure possible on you so that you could give the best results. And then perhaps you had teachers who were not so tough, who were just, very standard type of teachers. And I would like to ask one question. Which one do you remember the most? And which one do you remember the most with love? I'm sure it's the first type of teacher. The one that really worked with you. Why? Because that teacher was interested in your growth. He just wasn't interested in, creating a bond with you. He wanted you to grow. He wanted you to give the best in life. That's what I think an entrepreneur should do. And as I said, if you don't have that, you don't have a business. Or you may have a business as long as it lasts. But if you don't develop this competence, this skill of applying both a soft and tough love, you're going to have a very hard time. So the important thing is you understand, I could go on for hours speaking about this. But as long as you understand this principle and start applying it in your business and in your family, you will see dramatic results coming up. To the next time.